Good afternoon, dear viewers, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, we are at one of the sites of the company LLC Sovelmash. Today, some interesting events are taking place here right now. We are launching the first process, technological process, that allows us to serially produce stator and rotor cores. These will be utilized in angle grinders, a variety of household appliances, different types of tools, heavy class quadcopters, and other similar products as well. What makes this moment significant? The thing is, the technological process itself, which we are about to see. He has been known for a long time. It is carried out using a crank slider press, or more precisely, a die and die tooling. In this particular case, it's a 5-operation die, which actually allows us to produce fully finished cores. Here they are, right here, right now. As you can see, the guys are working. Over there are the rotor stacks, and here are the stator stacks. Let's take a moment to carefully go and observe the results that have come from a full day of effort by looking at what has. Here, a total of 910 stacks were made over the weekend. A stator and rotor stack comes out of this die every 15 seconds. It's easy to calculate. That's 4 stacks per minute, consistently over a full 8-hour shift. In 60 minutes, for times 60 is 240, and over 8 hours, that's 1,500 per shift. So you can simply calculate how many can be made in 21 working days and how many in a year. Those are the final numbers. Let's move on. Here are the drums. Inside these drums, you'll see the strips. This is what the charging strip looks like in operation. Let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the technological operation being performed. 5 operations. You can see it here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the rotors being removed. 5, 6, and at the end, the stator comes out. But this machine can make not only these motors, but also motors of other different sizes. Here we have 2 dies lying here, set out on the workbench, waiting their turn in the process along with their materials. These dies are specifically used for making these kinds of segments, and in particular, they are designed for the 318 size. These are the motors that are typically used in the Modilec. In fact, as you can see them here as well, they're all meticulously wrapped up for protection. These are the motors that are, in the following process, carefully assembled from segments and then cast. The raw material for production is strip metal. All these parts are made from this strip using special equipment. What makes today remarkable is that we've completed the stamping of a certain quantity, a certain volume, over 1,000 pieces. And this volume already allows us to start the technological process because the rotors will go for casting. Let's move on over here to the casting of the squirrel cage. This casting, both for the 318 and for other sizes, will be done on this very machine. We're waiting for the tooling for it. While the tooling hasn't arrived yet, we're casting into a buckle. This is what it looks like, right? Here it is. By the way, as you can see, this rotor has a straight slot, and this one has an angled slot. These beauties will go for detailed inspection and then further processing. And here's something worth noting. This truly remarkable and innovative machine actually allows us to start a process, a truly high-efficiency process with minimal production costs and minimal manual labor. While you saw us manually picking parts off the conveyor, there will actually be a cross conveyor installed there, which will direct the stamped cores into containers, and then those containers will move on to the next stage of production. The rotor stacks arrive here for further processing, while the stator stacks go to another area where slot insulation will be installed in them. But before that, all these parts will go through the quality control department, which has been set up and equipped. Only after that will production continue. After the slot insulation is installed, at this stage, the parts are then gradually sent to the section where the windings will be inserted. And once we launch this production process, we can start hiring people and giving them work, because it doesn't make sense to hire employees and just have them standing around here bored. That's the first thing. Second, we always try to design our production processes to minimize manual work. That's why, both on this machine and on those other machines, the amount of manual work is minimal. You just need to load the machine, turn it on, and then monitor its operation while handling other tasks at the same time. This keeps our production costs low, because most of our taxes are tied to payroll. But when we automate, everything becomes much simpler. By the way, I want to point out that with a die like this, I'm talking about a crank ground die like the one on this machine. At this stage, as long as we have the right tooling, we can stamp cores and large-sized motors. So, for any interested organizations who are curious about the process, please feel free to reach out. There's still a time window available. And I believe that we can provide a certain volume of services, especially since this machine can operate all 3 shifts and, naturally, as you are aware, can be used to provide services to external clients in particular. I also want to point out that, during the commissioning process, you consulted with a specialist who works in China, just so you are aware. During the commissioning, we've already made some solid progress, in fact. Therefore, even though we still haven't resolved the issue with the architectural and urban planning solution, or completed the permits for construction approval and operation, we are already, in fact, doing what we need to during the commissioning process. Thank you. See you next time.